attacks restore unit hit points to it. This is a death effect. Wait, what? This isn't eating spells at all. This is just life stealing. I mean, that's great, but that's not at all what you described. I'm just saying. Alright, amulets. Okay, so what do we got? Enchanting the phylactery. Do it. What's next? Party potato. It's a party because the ziggurat's almost done. The relic will be augmented. Okay. Fate of Zarias' pin. Branch of the Last Ash. Detachment of valiant aristocrats will probably accept the commander's nightly mission of seeking out and possessing the Branch of the Last Ash, the location of which is shown on the map captured from the demons. Sure. Spell Devour's unlocked, so all my troops just got a big fat upgrade. The ziggurat has been reconstructed. Chat, it's almost time! Alright, let's see if we can get Lichy. Let's see if we can get Lichy! Oh my gosh, you guys again? Alright. Wait, what? Go! Oh my gosh. I'm trying to make them move down there, but they're being weird about it. Alright, let's take care of this real quick. Okay. What does more damage? The Molotov Burning Liquid does 29 to 176. Or Boulder does 44 to 176. So this is a bit more. I'm kind of bummed out that there's no graphic for Boulder. It deserves a graphic. Let's just delay turn. And then have him go. Bonk. Healed 7, but dude, the life stealing. Oh my gosh. Look, you can see a big fat heal on him. They're like, Dude. Vampires in Heroes of Might and Magic were so busted. Yeah, like when you got to like a critical mass, because you couldn't kill the stack because they were just healing so much every turn, and I basically turned my 2 most common troops into vampires. Oh, is this back up again? this is stupid. Alright. Enter the city. Stop! Enter the city. Okay. Oh, what is this? Gesmerha looks the same as before, but more weary. So it's true. The commander has returned from the dead. We've heard all manner of rumors. We did not know what to believe. So I came here myself as to be sure it's true and not yet another trick of the demons. What will you do now? We will live in search of a better life. The place we called home all these centuries, it no longer accepts us. There are too many ghosts here, too many memories. Gesmerha sighs. I do not know where we'll go, but I will pray to the spirits that, that the new place will accept us. What's the news from Winter Sun? I thought the time would heal the Winter Sun, but it hasn't been easy. People gradually return to their lives, but the mere sight of their homeland brought back memories of the atrocities. I think Winter Sun was the village where they had a spell cast on them, where they saw demons as humans and humans as demons, so they let demons live among them, and they would kill any humans that approached because they thought they were demons, like, just in brutal fashion. And I broke the spell, and they got back memories of themselves killing, like, innocent people and travelers and children and stuff. So they're like really messed up now. This is why when the demons returned we didn't fight the way we should have. Farewell, Gesmerha. Farewell, Commander. May the spirits watch over you. I hope our paths will cross again someday. It's weird that there was a swarm option there. It's like if I was a living swarm, what would I do? Be like, oh, hey, I'm a bunch of bugs. I'm gonna eat your face. Mukluk. The succubus gazes at you despondently. She always speaks quietly, but now her voice is a barely audible whisper. In my dream, a fire almost destroyed everything. The only thing that survived was a table. I've returned to my dream world so many times. The nightmare still lurks there, but I want to understand why the table is so important. Why did it survive the fire? I can't figure out what makes it special. It looks like a simple piece of furniture. It just stands there. What's it supposed to mean? What am I doing wrong? Would you like to enter your dream again? I don't think that will help. We've already been there together. And no, there must be something else. I must look at it from a different side. But how do you find the other side of a dream? The other side of a dream is called reality. Perhaps this table represents something that you're supposed to do in real life? You might be right, she brightens considerably, but what exactly should I do? Find a table? Buy one? Perhaps I should learn the craft of a carpenter and make one myself? So many possibilities, and I don't even know where to begin. Her excitement gives way to dismay. Where did the table come from? Where did it come from? She considers your question. She taps her lip thoughtfully. Oh, I remember now. There was a loaf of bread on that table. That was Anevia's dream, remember? She said she wanted to learn how to bake. The bread went up in flames along with all the other fragments of her dreams, but the table remained. If the table came from Anevia's dream, maybe you should talk to her. I've been living among mortals for a while now, and there's still so much I don't understand about your kind, how you live, what you dream about. You're right. We should ask Anevia. It's part of her dream, after all. That's a good idea, but she shifts her from foot to foot reluctantly. Could you please talk to her instead? I don't even know how to begin a conversation like this. It's so personal. Please ask her, and I will stay nearby. Okay. Tina, the scenery master. Commander, good day to you and all that. I'm Tina from the Next Door Theater. Remember me? So here's the score. We finished rehearsing and are ready to stage the world premiere of our play about your exploits. Grandma sent me to invite you. Ready to get started, so will you come? I gotta be honest with you guys. In character, I don't want to see this crap. This is so just like off the rails. But I'm pretty sure it would make us laugh. Doesn't it bother you to perform before the ruler of the dead in his capital? Not really. We performed all sorts of freaks, ones you couldn't even imagine. Compared to them, your skeletons are a perfect audience. Alright, let's do it. There was no option for I'll be there in 5 minutes. It was just now or never. Why do they have a trebuchet on stage? That concerns me. Grandma Gretlin, the director. Grandma Gretlin's smile shines with pride and happiness. Her new ladle shines equally bright, and she holds it like a scepter. Ladies and gentlemen, the day has come that every participant in the crusade has awaited with bated breath. The day when we, the Next Door Theater, finally present to you our newest production. The massive prop catapult beside Grandma creaks loudly and somewhat ominously in tune with her words. At least you hope it's a prop. Grandma Gretlin, the director. Today, we return to the recent past, one of the first victories won by the Commander. Our show is dedicated to those grandiose, incredible, mind-blowing, exciting, large-scale, grand and legendary events, and many of you probably witnessed firsthand. I feel like I could use this in a video. Grandiose, incredible, mind-blowing, exciting, large-scale, grand and legendary events. Maybe. As the director and playwright, I feel humbled and honored to... Captivated by her own speech, Grandma brandishes her ladle with wild enthusiasm and accidentally touches, but only lightly, one of the catapult's levers. Everybody clapped. You hear a theatrically loud whisper from the ranks of the actors. Does anyone remember what we used to load the catapult? I have a better question. What did the projectile hit? I see something that resembles a plume of smoke in the place similar to the one where we left the crate our props are in. I put my cherry pie in the catapult bucket to have a secret snack during the performance, and now it flew away. The last sentence is a loud sob. Stop panicking! The show must go on even if we are left without our costumes and props. If something does not go according to plan, improvise! Having whispered those instructions quite loudly to her crew, Grandma Gretlin gives a beaming smile to the audience. Nothing more than a few fireworks to celebrate our premiere, and now we shall begin. Applaud. In the year 4715th, in the area near Dresden, a figure appears in front of the army awaiting his orders. It is their leader, Knight Commander Mukluk. It's two gnomes in a trench coat, chat. It doesn't take much attention to recognize the awkward figure of Rubbledum, the gnome, standing on the shoulders of his twin brother, Hierophant. Finally, the day has come! Rubbledum winces and mumbles, making no effort to be discreet. Harry, stop moving, I'm going to fall. You won't fall, comes a voice from the middle of the commander's torso. I've covered my shoulder pads with the strong magic glue, so your boots should be securely attached. Go on with your speech, or we'll never get to the exciting part. Mine. You put glue on... What? We were supposed to change places during the performance. How can I climb off your shoulders now? Not a problem whatsoever. You take off your boots, I take off my shoulder pads. Then we switch. Voila. Well, only... I can't take off my boots. My laces kept coming untied, so I fixed them with the same glue. You know, just to be careful. Now you'll need a hacksaw in about an hour to get these boots off me, and we're in the middle of the show. I only learned half the lines for this part. What are we gonna do? Rubbledum, improvise. Invent something for the half of the part Hierophant was supposed to play. Easy! I've always dreamed of becoming a playwright. Next up is the commander's inspiring speech before his army. He thinks for a moment. My fellow crusaders, listen carefully, for I'll give you a few tactical tips. Tip number 1, get a running start so that you can jump really high. Tip number 2, if you jump really high, you will be able to ride any demon flying over you. Tip number 3, if you can't ride a demon, it means there were no flying demons above you. And that means they have already been defeated. Well, either that, or you were trying to jump indoors and you hit your head on the ceiling. You're the one talking nonsense, and yet somehow I'm the one who feels ashamed. We're twins, dummy. Our reputation is shared because when one of us talks nonsense, observers can't tell which of us is doing it, so they blame both of us. Grandma Gretlin. Then, with his army properly inspired, the commander explained the details of his grand strategic plan. As we all know, the commander planned to outsmart the demons by infiltrating their ranks. For this, the commander prepared a very realistic and elaborate costume of a seductive succubus. Grandma casts a sad look in the direction where, presumably, a cart with the theater's props is still in flames. And that's exactly what happened. The commander donned his costume of a provocatively seductive demoness to deceive the enemy. You know, I don't remember doing that. Unfortunately, as our show is intended for family viewing, we cannot show this. We must leave it to your imagination. And now that all of you have witnessed the most spectacular, dramatic, and impressive culmination of our play, let us return to reality for a moment, to welcome the person whom we are all gathered here to celebrate, the commander. After all, this was one of his earliest adventures. So what do you say, Commander? Did you like our show? What, that's it? Like, what, these three didn't even do anything. Not bad, but there's room for improvement. Of course, sure. A mysterious smile appears on her face. Believe it or not, Commander, but every true comedian knows their calling is to provoke laughter and smiles, not necessarily on stage. And it need not be a successful, professional, and perfectly organized performance. Sometimes their art exceeds the limitations of the stage. And now, unfortunately, the time has come to say goodbye. We were with you almost from the first day, but now that the show is over, the next door theater troupe has other places to be and other places to perform. It took these guys like 6 months to plan that out. I'm gonna turn my fan off. Wow. Okay. You can't rush art. I guess. Let's see. Can I rest here? Yeah, cool. I can. That's a nice quality of life thing. Oh, it just teleported me back to the castle. Interesting. All it took was a trebuchet, a pie, and some glue. Even if you stray from the path of righteousness, you will have a long time to conquer yourself to find your way again. No, I know that once I step off this path, I can never come back. I am shocked Seal is still here. He said very hurtful things earlier, chat. When I said I was going to be a lich, he was like, I don't know if your filthy soul can even be redeemed anymore, but by the goddess, please accept her offer and try. And then I was like, no. And then Sela left. And so Seal was like, ah, it's fine. And he stayed. Lady Konami doesn't look nearly as confident or bold as before. Commander, what a blessing it is to have you back. Mendev is really in need of your help. There's been a revolt in Nerosian. The disgruntled nobles are completely out of control. They proclaimed the royal capital dissolved and arrested several of its members. Many politicians were accused of collaborating with the demons. Some were executed and others were torn apart by the crowd. The first treasurer has fled. There's fighting in the streets between mercenaries hired by the aristocrats and the guard, who is loyal to the royal council. Dresden has received letters from the insurgents, as well as from the loyal servants of the crown requesting your support. But both the royal council and I have faith that you'll elect to defend the legitimate authority. The faith is not misplaced, is it? She regards you with a devotion you've never seen in her before. If the powerful have gone mad and are spilling blood in the streets, there is only one force that can stop them. The church. Oh my god. We'll appeal to the clerics to intervene in this conflict, and their voices will be heard. Why would we bother saving the royal council? So it can keep pushing us around? I propose we publicly support the nobles. If a few esteemed elders were to depart from the council, it wouldn't be a terrible loss for the nation. So, Nerosian first demanded, but is now asking? The situation in the capital must be really grim. You're absolutely right, Commander. I admit the Royal Council hasn't shown you the proper respect and amicability. I myself brought this to their attention on numerous occasions. Her posture is full of repentance, but trust me when I say that none of them wished you ill, and they all shared the unshakable belief that you were the savior of our nation. Why is there rioting? Without Her Majesty's steady hand, the capital has fallen into decay. Some are settling old scores, others have discovered new opportunities. Mendev is accustomed to following a highly respected leader. The only one who can protect the throne from greedy hands is you, Commander. She gives you a deep bow, exuding remorse and obedience. Has the news of my deeds reached Nerosian? After an elegant bow, she gives you a piercing, searching look. Oh, yes. Yeah. Do they know I'm a necromantic lord? Or is that on the down low? Your methods of repelling attacks on Dresden were very effective, but in terms of your reputation, they were disastrous. Was there truly no other way to destroy the demon horde other than raising the dead en masse? Her voice is solemn, but a twinkle of amusement dances in her eyes. She pauses dramatically. How do you think Nerosian views you now? Well, and who do they think I am? A sly smile appears on her face. Why, their commander, of course. Believe it or not, you haven't been stripped of your rank. No army is being raised against you, and the temples, at least not yet, haven't condemned you as a sinner. Some refuse to believe that many awful accusations against you. Others would gladly believe them, but it would require a new crusade against you, and that would mean new sacrifices and expenses coming out of their pockets, and others are entranced by you. Flip hair. In a country that has been waging war for a century, many have thought about the benefits of eternal unlife, and you gave them the right to express their beliefs out loud. Some would say your pernicious influence is corrupting Mendev, but I note you still have strong political support across all social classes, and I'm not concerned with questions on ethics. The disaster has been averted, and that's all that matters. Should we expect trouble? Not yet. Nerosian will continue to provide us with supplies and recruits. The world wound remains a threat, and we are their shield. Yes, I could convince the nobles to support an army from Abaddon if it came here and vowed to protect their capital. I guess she's very good at her job. Are there any companions, like, in the story that are these fox people? I've watched a few streamers that have had a fox person in their party, but I don't know if they were a custom character or if there's a companion I just completely missed. Are any living volunteers enlisted in the army? It is, and much more than one might think. Necromancy has never improved anyone's reputation, but it does promise immortality and undeath. You could use this to become more popular. Once they realize death magic is no longer so strictly prohibited, many Mendevians flock to Dresden to seek knowledge and eternal life in your service. There is one and you haven't missed it. Dude, seriously? I feel like I'm at the end of the game. Okay, I'm in Act 5, right? Is this the last act? I'm okay with you telling me this. Is this the last act, or is there another one? There's an Act 6. I kind of hate that there's a companion you don't even meet until that late in the game. Did the Paladins, priests, and other adherents of the Fate allow this? Let's just say that before the 5th Crusade, there were many more devout people in the capital, but many of them went on to the Crusade. And here, before the walls of Dresden, as well as in Iz, I need not remind you of their fate. At any rate, it isn't easy to imagine a better time to be a rabble-rouser in Mendev. Without the watchful eye of the Queen and her paladins, the people began to breathe and think much more freely. I see. Working with reformers is always so perilous and exciting. Okay, let's look at the options. Holy Relic, this gives you +4 enhancement to Charisma and Wisdom. Is that a shirt? +4 Charisma and Wisdom, that's crazy. It also allows you to cast Greater Angelic Aspect. Okay. If we support Darren, Cloak resists +5. When you land a killing blow, all enemies in 15 feet must pass a will saving throw or become blinded. If I support the council, these goggles grant their wearer +15 persuasion as well as all lore and knowledge checks. Neurosians. All generals get 7 to power, adds 100,000 finance, 10,000 material, and 4,000 energy. That's insane, but you have to tell her to get out. I actually like her. I don't want to get rid of her. But that's, like, this is so stacked compared to the other rewards. Like, disgustingly stacked. They really try to tempt you to be a jerk here. You know what? Because she is such a convincing character and she's so good at her job, I'm going to do what she wants rather than go for the reward I want. I'll support the Royal Council. I knew you would choose sensibly. I promise that Her Majesty's servants will not forget your loyalty. Order in the capital will be restored, and you will always be able to count on your extremely grateful friends. I'll bet that will lead to more missions later. I apologize once more for all the misunderstandings we've had in the past, Commander. I thank you, and I won't take any more of your time. As soon as the situation in Erosian changes, I will immediately convene the council to give you a full report. Who dat? Melissa. Commander, you look up and see Melissa, the green-eyed fisherwoman from the village of Chili Creek. Her hair is a mess, and her face and clothes are covered in soot. It looks as though she's traveled here in a hurry and met with a few dangers along the way. Help, please help me. He's gone crazy. He will kill them. Calm down. What happened? Do you remember Jerno, the cleric who came to our village a year ago? The locals weren't very welcoming to him back then. After all, he was a stranger who was preaching about a strange new god. But little by little, he became one of us. He went fishing alongside us, and he told people stories about the crusade. He told us about meeting you and seeing the queen, and the songs he used to sing that made you want to stop and listen. Well, eventually, she looks down, we became very close. We started to plan a wedding. My brother didn't seem to mind at first, but after we got married, well, that's when he lost it. He became violent. He threatened to hurt us. Wait. I'm unclear. Her brother threatened? Or Jernog did? I tried to talk to him, but Melissa shakes her head. My brother didn't seem to mind at first, but after we got married, that's when he lost. I'm assuming the brother? We even thought about leaving the village, but when my brother found out, he lost his mind completely. Merkel is strong. Okay, it was the brother. And no one else in the village dares to challenge him. It was a miracle I managed to escape, but my husband is still there. He didn't make it out of the village. I don't know what's happened to him. Help us, please. What caused this change to Markel's behavior? She looks away and replies softly. Markel really honors the village traditions. We've been worshipping the river for many generations. He was not keen on having the cleric of a foreign god in the village, but he was willing to tolerate Jernal's presence for a while. However, my relationship with Jernal really disappointed Markel, especially when he discovered I had begun to worship Aristil too. How did you get here? By some miracle, I guess? Everything is on fire out there, all those monsters, but never mind me. I managed to escape. I made it here in one piece, but I'm in serious trouble and I have no one I could turn to for aid. Please help me, or my only hope. I feel like it would be within character to be like, don't you know I'm in the middle of fighting a war? But I'm really curious what's freaking going on in that village. They have piqued my curiosity. It's like RE freaking, what number was it? RE8? It's like RE8 in that village, and I don't know what's going on. So, yeah, okay. Thank you. I'll head back to the village. I've done my best to keep him from flying into a rage, but please hurry. I'm afraid he might do something terrible. Okay, alright. So we got the ziggurat, right? Oh, wait, didn't I need to talk to Anivia? Is she still here? Yeah, she is. Hey, look who it is. Hi. Do you remember when I asked about your dream? You said you wanted to learn how to bake bread. Could you tell me more about that? Is this for a Ruchalet? Uh-huh, I can see you now. You can come on out. She smiles at the half-hidden succubus bashfully emerging from her hiding place. Now isn't that better? Anyway, back to bread. Anivia sighs pensively, her eyes gazing into the distance. When I was a little snot-nosed kid, my mom hid me from our enemies in a temple of Desna. Nadal, my birthplace, is a horror show. If it crumbled into the sea tomorrow, I'd throw a party. But the temple was a tiny oasis of peace and calm hidden away inside all that. Folks in the temple know how to laugh, they'd sing songs as they did their needlework, and in the mornings they'd bake the most fragrant bread in the whole world. I could barely see over the table, but I'd stand and watch as the cook mixed the dough, formed it into rounds, and put them in the oven. It's the happiest memory of my life. Well, of the crappy part of my life up until I met Beth, of course. Then, when I bailed out on all that, I did all kinds of scummy jobs. I crawled through marshlands, I scrambled over rooftops, I waded through sewers, I spied, I tracked, I killed, and that memory was the thing that kept me going. When I was sitting up to my eyeballs in gore, or dragging myself through the slums with an arrow in my side, I remembered the smell of that bread, the crunch of the crust, and how it burned my little fingers. I remembered how happy I was back then. Commander, have you thought about what you'll do after we win? I mean, once we've smashed the demons, closed the world, we've hung up our weapons, what then? I know my war will be well and truly over the morning I get up, mix a dough, and put it in the oven. I'm gonna sit there and watch it rise, and then the smell of fresh bread will wake Irabeth, and she'll come into the kitchen, and I'll break her off a steaming, fragrant piece. That's when I'll truly know in my gut the crusade's over. That's our peaceful life has begun. Arushale listens to Anivia with rapt attention. When Anivia finishes, the succubus is silent for a long time, then briskly wipes her eyes. Thank you, Anivia. Desna bless you. I think I understand now. I think I truly understand. Arushale turns to you. You see a sparkle of hope in her eyes again. Something that's been missing ever since your last visit to the world of dreams. Mukluk, we need to go there again, to the dream world. Now I know how to solve the riddle. Please come speak with me in private as soon as you can. Not waiting for your reply, she walks away. She watches her go. Desna watches that everything we do in our waking hours begins in our dreams. I wonder what my dream helped her understand. Whatever it is, may the goddess watch over her. Alright, watch yourself now. I feel like in these conversations with Anivia, she doesn't remember the whole Lord of the Dead thing. Because when I talk to her outside of that, she gets really mad. She's like shaking in fear, like, look how most of the citizens have been killed. Wait a minute.
I know what to
hold
do.
Hold up. Oh, wow. Okay, chat, this bow, while you have it equipped, it says it gives your animal companion or similar creature haste. I just now realized it's giving haste to both Chip and the undead sniper. Permanent haste. That's really, really strong. Permanent haste is insane.
Follow my lead. No mistakes.
Alright, let's go in the ziggurat. Kitsune is a great min-max race. You can get +4 to all stats. All stats? I picked Azamar for my tank because I knew wings gave bonus armor class. What was that spell tied to, Druid? The thing that we just talked about was a magic bow I found called Feral Charge. And my Druid's just holding it. I do hope you're here with good reason, student. I have occupied with my ruminations on the ritual you and I shall perform together. I've put an end to the feud between Elyanka and Septimus. Very good. Any and all disturbances must be stamped out. Once the ziggurat is upgraded according to the geometry of my ritual, we shall be able to proceed. When I was in the Abyss, I learned my mythic powers the product of an experiment by Irilu Vorlesh involving congealed Demon Lord blood. What do you have to say to that? Ah, so thence comes the crystalline vessel that is linked to your soul. Irilu Vorlesh must have fused this Demon Lord essence with you being in a haphazard fashion. That explains why your power is so intractable. If I had been the one to oversee this process, such a thing would never have occurred. I am certain I could have achieved more had I been the one seeking a way to transform this shoddy article into a semi-divine force. But unfortunately, you were created by an ignorant Sarkorian witch, and now I am left to contend with the consequences. Dude, he talks about me like I'm just like an art project to be cleaned up. The ziggurat has been upgraded. Perfect. Now we can harness a colossal amount of energy to use in the ritual. However, any attempts of sabotage would compromise our undertaking. Subdue your unduly obstinate advisors to ensure we are not impeded by their stupidity and that we shall open the door to your eternal life. Okay, so it's good that we already did that, and we did do that. Go student, blah, blah, blah. Let's try to talk to him again. Everything is ready. We can proceed with the ritual. Bolster your spirit and inform me when you are ready. It will be a great challenge followed by a great reward. I don't see an option to tell him that. Let me tap quick save again. Let the ritual begin. He bursts out laughing and nods, clearly satisfied. Now begins the great transformation. Now begins the sacramental rite. What challenges will I face? He gives you a sinister grin. We shall commit a murder. We must extinguish all the passion in your heart. They bind you too tightly to your mortality and keep your soul attached to this living body of blood and bone. You must renounce your desires, destroy them, and your heart will become cold, hard, and dead. Only then will you have the power you desire, but the price will be high. How dangerous will this be for me? I would say it will be painful. This time you will actually die. Before that, though, you will have to endure great suffering. Whether you bear it or die in the process rests solely on your resolve. What? We gotta kill a companion? No, we're killing me. We're killing all our passions and loves, blah 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 blah. What powers will I gain? Immortality, the eternal amulet that will prevent your soul from departing this life to Pharasma's judgment, and power, phenomenal power, that will grant you the right to reign supreme over death itself. Let's begin. Zacharias bursts into triumphant laughter with the promise of the freedom he has sought for decades. I shall not ask how far you are willing to go and what you're willing to sacrifice for your power, for the only sacrifice in this ritual is you. Let us proceed. I wonder if I should have buffed up first. I don't know if there's a fight here. Witness this great and terrible deed. This mortal soul will reject the curse of perdition and eternal rebirth at Pharasma's hand. This mortal brands its heart with the blessed seal of undeath and its forehead with the crown of power and immortality. Let the fires burn bright so that the whole world will see your villainous atrocities. Whoa, hey, whoa, I recycle. May your virtue be consumed by flames. This is the hour of your great torment, and I shall not spare you from suffering. Greed and avarice are fierce passions that can overwhelm even the purest hearts, but you must reject the gifts of this generous world and put to death your desire for riches. You must surrender your greatest treasure. These bracers are inscribed with a promise. Your destiny is bound to them, but today we are going to change your destiny. Reject these false promises. Take off these bracers and hand them to me. I am trying to remember where I got the bracers. There was someone... Did Arilu give me those, or the Queen? Yeah, it's the bracers